Bonjour. Mon nom est Julien Besnard. Did anyone understand what I just said? Well, if not, you can understand how I felt when I first walked into algebra class. Not only that, but at the time, no one had ever told me why I was learning algebra. I was just being told that x plus y equaled z, and that for some reason it worked. See, from a very young age, I was always a person who had passion for learning. One could say I was quite curious. My family moved around a lot when I was little. I was born in Mexico, lived in France, England, Brazil, and now I'm here in the United States. So I was always exposed to a lot of different cultures with a lot to be curious about. I was curious because I was interested. Whenever I would stumble upon something new, I wanted to know what its purpose was. So when I was little, I thought my dad knew everything about the world. That is why I remember he would let me ask 3 questions before bedtime, and these could be about anything in the world, like how our rocket ships work. The only thing is I remember that once he told me it was with fuel, I wanted to know, but Dad, where does fuel come from? And who invented the rocket ship anyway? Problem was that 3 questions just never was enough for me. I learned a lot through my curiosity, but this never translated to school. When I was little, I learned how to read and write, and I was considered smart. But as I started growing older, I started doing poorly. I remember bringing home a lot of C's, D's, and even F's at times, and my parents being quite baffled by them. Like, why are you so capable, yet won't do your work? My dad often argued. This scared me a lot of times. Why was I so stupid when it came to school? I would bring home work and just simply didn't want to do it. This was an emotional struggle for me. Even though I never did well in school, I still had that intellect and curiosity about myself. I was always learning about many subjects. Yes, a lot of them never had anything to do with what I was learning in school. But I was learning a lot, very fast, on my own. I was learning by doing outside of school. Over time, I came up with a realization that kind of turned me a bit rebellious towards school. I realized that a lot of the things I was learning in school didn't feel personal to me. I'm a pretty creative guy, so why am I learning algebra or chemistry? Maybe if someone would caught my attention and said that with algebra, I could make a symmetric sculpture, or that with chemistry, I could paint the colors of a rainbow. This had me wallowing in anger, but this wasn't the way to go. I had to do a lot more thinking so that I could figure out the real problem with my education. See, I've come to the realization that the brain retains information only if we make the decision to retain it. And decisions come from reason. We have either emotional or logical reasons to learn. One step that has changed my life is not really a method of learning, but a method of finding what I want to learn, which I find to be the first step in unlocking one's full learning capabilities. Let me tell you a story. When I was little, I was walking around a park, and off in the distance, I saw a crowd of people beating on some drums. And at the time, I didn't really understand why they were doing what they were doing. To me, the beat sounded a little bit repetitive, and I didn't really see what interest there was in it. But this is where my curiosity came into play. But I decided to do something a little bit different. I thought, maybe if I experienced the drum circle from the inside instead of watching it from the outside, I could understand it better. So even though I was a little shy about the whole thing at the time, I decided to walk up to the people and boldly ask if I could join. So they gave me a drum, and for the next couple of hours, I spent my time trying to imitate what they were doing. And after a while, I could feel the meditative power that came from the repetition of the beats. And through this understanding, I could understand that the drum circle had meaning to people. And with this, I could make a decision on my own on whether or not I wanted to dive into more detail with this art. One thing is for sure, I was at least able to make peace with it and move on to different things. My mother encouraged me one day to join a class on the subject of filmmaking. At first I felt uneasy because all the other students were between 8 and 10 years old. And I'm 19. But I decided to give it a chance to see what this could bring to me. Of course, this was applying my desire to understand the class before I dove into the learning of it. What caught my attention is that we were going to make our own movie as we learned. And this excited me because I love learning by doing. And not only that, it gave me a chance to be a role model to these kids with a method I truly believe in. How cool is that? So I quickly signed up to be the director of our film. And I saw that our teachers were giving us the opportunity to take full control over our project. And this excited me because I had been looking for ways to better my leadership skills. And more reason to learn. As this is still all happening, I can see a lot of progression between me and the other students. I've never been in a class where learning has been so rapid, yet so fun. We were set in front of a camera, and now if we were to learn it, now if we were to use it, we would have to learn it. See, my belief is that learning is a decision. And as I've grown older, I've lost sight of the reasons why I learn. So that is why I go back to when I was a little kid, before bedtime. Dad, I don't want to go to bed. I want to learn. Help me out here. Am I smart or am I dumb? Why does the old man look so sick? Why did the birds fly south? Teach me how I can become a musician so I can make people happy. Teach me how I can become an astronaut so I can look down at the world and say, this is where humanity sits. Dad, I don't want to go to bed. I'm not going to bed. And that is my idea worth spreading. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.